What's up, guys? Phil Vallejo here, and thanks for tuning in to the Cadre podcast. In this episode, myself, John Bumpus, and Matt Solowinski are up in Kenai, Alaska, and we were getting ready to kick off our series of classes that we were going to be teaching in Alaska for this year. This was technically our kind of inaugural launch of the Cadre with the classes that we're teaching because all three co-founders were there. That allowed us to iron out our curriculum, but more importantly, just finally get together since the launch of the Cadre. In this episode specifically, because it was fresh on our mind, we're talking about navigating or traveling with precision rifles. That's always a hot topic. People are always wondering, especially for myself, how we lay out our gear and, traveling with firearms and especially ammo. And it's actually not a, difficult process. I know it sounds intimidating when you're looking through the rules and regulations, but hopefully this breaks it down based off our experiences. And so on top of that, we also talk about kind of our excitement getting ready for the performance competition class that we will be teaching in Kenai. So hopefully you guys enjoy the episode. Let us know what you think in the comments, and enjoy the show.
Is that red light on?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's supposed to be ready for you.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Sorry, that was just a sound. I have to make sure we're all synced. It is 11:17. All together again.
On June the 3rd.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Kenai, Alaska.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've been here.
It's been a trip.
Yeah. Still waiting for the sun to go down. Still mad.
John had some issues with TSA, which we'll get into here shortly.
Was in our segment.
Some pro tips for traveling with firearms. But yeah, we are out here in Alaska, ready to kick off our 2025 precision rifle courses for the year. And it's been since December since we've all been in one roof. Even in December, it was pretty chaotic because we had all the air guys. So we really didn't even have time to do headquarter things.
Yeah, no adult thing was never done it.
And it was just nonstop. Like we're just go on in December. So it was,
yeah. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Kenai this week. We got performance competition to kick off. Super pretty drive. Matt, you got in at like 9, and we just rolled straight to Kenai. But dude, let's just kick it off with freaking some traveling to Matt. Will come a question that I know that I always get at least, is like how to travel with precision rifles and kind of some quote unquote pro tips along the way. My pro tip is like if you can travel with family, that helps spread load some of the ammunition that you're bringing up, as well as some of the other bullshit gear that you're
down.
Yeah, coming up.
I will say that's a big one. Check with each airline, like because they all have kind of different rules.
Mm-hmm.
So like Delta, I'm pretty sure is 50 pounds of ammo.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, I had, and I don't know if that's just military or if that's everyone, because I knew when we would send some of the guys, like when we sent them to a couple of year old courses, like Schilling and the guys, he had looked it up, and I can't remember if they were doing American Airlines or if it was Delta, or I think they might both be the same or they're very similar. It was 50 pounds, and it didn't have to be spread loaded in any kind of particular way. Because I think like today, I mean, obviously I flew with Delta, and I kept it separate from the gun, even though I don't think it's a requirement. It's just probably prefer it because it makes it a little more comfortable. And I had 25.2, I think, in one bag, and I didn't have any issues.
I did not weigh my ammo because I knew I was just going off 11 pounds. I thought it was kind of across the board, like 11 pounds and 1 or 2 boxes of ammo, like, or cases of ammo, like overdo that almost. So it's like no point in weighing it.
Yeah. So I ran mine in the 6.5 warranty boxes, and I literally had my little scale in the bathroom that I use for my check-ins, and they're 1 pound exactly. So I just had to count the boxes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to save because I usually save 20 round boxes
Yeah.
for travel because it's a lot easier to shove them into places in your pack, right? Versus like the 100 round boxes that I usually take to the range. So that was kind of like a big pain in the ass. It was like, especially trying to spread load it through my family's gear in terms of like, okay, here, now fit this huge 100 round case.
Because it's like an extra makeup case.
Exactly. So that's a pro tip is like, if you have a buddy, that has just like factory ammunition that, he throws away, just save the boxes. Because I think it's just a lot easier. And that way, like, I've never had my ammunition weighed at all since all the travels that I've done. I've never, and people, a lot of my, people that message me, they're like, dude, this, my airport weighed me. And, I feel like it also has to do with like, okay, if you're new, like I feel like the clerk is going to kind of see right through it, like depending on how nervous you are.
Yeah, like I would say maybe that's another thing too. Like I said, because most of my travel has been with firearms have been obviously active duty.
Yeah.
This was one because usually I drive to everywhere we go
Yeah.
because it's like on my coast. Like I went up there and I literally just came like, yep, firearm here, ammo's in here. Like I rattled off all the information ahead of him. He was actually like, let me go double tap and make sure. He's like, it sounds right, but he's like, nah, I'm not sure. Let me go ask my boss.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, it works. And I was like, okay. But I've heard horror stories like the other way around where it's like maybe someone who thinks they know the rules better or their interpretation. I think that could be it. Because sometimes they're written in a manner where it's kind of open to interpretation.
Yeah.
And
then it's like, I didn't even tell him I had ammo. I just fucking said, hey, here's my rifle. Like, do you need to see it? And at the time, they were like, no. They just give you the slip, put it in there.
Yeah.
And then apparently they did need to see him. So,
ammunition can be inside of the rifle case.
Yeah.
It just has to be obviously unloaded in either a plastic or original manufacturing purposes. So,
yeah. That's another one I would call just because, like I said, that was the guy brought that up for me yesterday. He's like, I think it's supposed to be in the gun case with the firearm. And I was like, I was always told it didn't matter, but they prefer it separate. That's why I let you know it was in the other bag.
Yeah.
And that's why once I kind of questioned it, because I think he said it like, I think so. And then he was like, oh, this guy sounds like he knows what he's supposed to. He's like, let me go get a second opinion. Because I tried to do everything, even though I didn't have to. I try to keep everything either at 55 pounds or below, which is why I spread loaded it the way I did it.
Well, that's another thing. Like Alaska, if you're Alaska Airlines, if you're a certain like level Alaska card member or club member or whatever, or if you're active duty military, you can get like 5 to 6 100-pound bags checked for free, or it might be 75 pounds, but I'm pretty sure it's 100. So anytime I can fly Alaska, I do, because like that one case with the ammo and like gear was like 85 pounds. The rifle case was like, 50 something. And there's no batting of an eye. It's just, yep, cool, you're good. So makes traveling a little bit cheaper and less of a worry, like trying to spread load,
Yeah.
Like I always have, I have like a small like roll up duffel that's like pocket size, but it opens up into a pretty good sized duffel, and I keep that in one of my check bags just in case you have to like spread load, or like if you go and you acquire something or something like that. Now
And they say super smart. I never thought of that.
It's like super small, light, but if I had to like open it up in a pinch and just throw some shit in there,
and now it becomes your carry-on or something like that,
or just another check bag, but
which
now
is cheaper than paying the extra $100 overage.
Because I can't have one bag that weighs 75 pounds, but I can have 2 bags that weigh 75 pounds.
Yeah. You know, it's funny now that you say that, like, I'm going to try to remember that because I put my Stone Glacier bag inside of my roller bag. And I'm like, I could pull that out, empty it out, and then throw stuff in there. Yeah. Because I don't know why I pack a bag in a bag just because I'm like trying not to look like fucking silly fucking clown show with 20 bags trying to waddle down the hallway.
No, that was me yesterday morning.
Yeah.
I had to.
Next time, just tag me, bro.
I parked in long-term parking,
Oh yeah.
and then it's like
That's a long
half-mile movement from the parking garage to the terminal, and I got like 2 roller cases, my big duffel, and my day bag.
It's like this. What is it called? The sea bag carry.
Yeah, I trapped her on fire.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, the
I
next
was gonna
thing.
get that scooter one.
Oh, that scooter one.
Fucking wheelchair.
The next thing is locks. Guys, guys have questions in locks. Again, for firearms, I've never used TSA approved locks. Like you can typically use either a combo lock or a key lock, which I, always go back and forth between depending on which locks I lose or can find when I'm getting ready to go. And for me, it's at least my experience, a pretty straightforward process, like just understanding the rules and regulations. And depending on the lay of the airport, when you check your rifle in, it sometimes goes through a scanner that TSA is a completely separate area where you have to potentially escort with a TSA agent or somebody to then open up the case for them to inspect it. Or sometimes they just tell you to wait and be like, hey, if we need you after they take the x-ray to open the case, whatever. But they don't necessarily have to have the keys, and you have the right to open, or you have the right to be there when they open the case.
Yeah, so typically in my experience, it's been that every time where they just need to take it, send it back, and then you have to like stand up for like 10 minutes in case they need to call you.
Yeah.
Now, if you have TSA locks, you don't have to wait. So like a couple of times traveling, they're just like, okay, those are TSA approved locks. Like you don't need to wait. We got it. If we need to get in there, we will. Which I guess like my opinion,
Convenient.
I think I could go like either way on that one. It's like, do I want to stand here for 10 minutes and like wait, or do I just want to have TSA approved locks? Hindsight being 2020, I think in the future I won't travel with TSA locks so they don't rearrange my case and break my fucking chassis. Yeah. But yeah, I guess I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's just factors to consider. Like one, because I feel like I've noticed the only time I've ever been called back to open it, because again, I've never used TSA locks. I've always intended on getting them, but they're not cheap, which is why I just haven't gotten them.
Really? How much are they?
They're like $80 to $100, I think, per lock.
No, I mean like the ones that I have, those little combo ones, they're like $7 a piece.
Oh, really? Oh, I got misinformed then, because that's why I'd been holding off, because I heard.
No, they're like really easy. Like they're super simple locks.
Maybe it was like at the airport, because everything at the airport costs 10 times as much as it does anywhere else. And they're like, yeah, you can buy them for like $70, and I was stuck in my head.
Probably.
But only in California have I ever had, like I was saying before we clicked on, like I went back once for my rifle. I think we did rifles for international, but both ways. And then when I was coming back from Mountain Sniper, when I was flying back out to North Carolina, because of my my rear bag, it wasn't even for the gun. It was just because they had that big mass that they were like freaked out about. But other than that, it's usually been, at least flying out of Virginia, it's like you check in, TSA is right there, and they just do the scanner thing. And they're like, yeah, if you stand by, we'll give you the thumbs up. If not, otherwise crack it open.
The rear bags are like a weird one, because I've gotten hit for a rear bag. I had like my big full size Game Changer in the bottom of my carry-on.
Oh yeah.
Just because I didn't really have.
I think is it filled with sand?
No, that one.
Or Get Light.
Mine was Get Light.
I'll say mine. I've always been hit with the ones with sand, so I didn't know if maybe the material that it's filled with changes it.
Yeah, but I've never got hit with it or like anything like on a check bag, or I wouldn't have known if they like did,
Yeah.
But I did when I went through with a bag in a carry-on. They pulled it aside and they were like, hey, what's this?
Yeah, it's awkward.
It's
But
exploded.
yeah, so that's what I was thinking. At least I would maybe consider TSA locks. If I wasn't running a suppressor, because I only travel with one gun, so like obviously in your case, multiple guns, you want to make sure it gets put back in there the way you had it for a reason. Like for mine, it would just pop it open and then they would just close it again. If I had a suppressor though, I would, because like I remember listening to one of Frank Galley's podcasts where they were like trying to say that they needed the original paperwork because he had a copy for them, and they were like trying to get all weird with it. And it's like, no, like you can have the copy that I printed off for you guys to prove that I have it. But that's the only one I would get questionable about, because sometimes people get really, I don't know why, they just get really jittery around the suppressor in like that scenario. So like
Travel with it.
I would probably definitely not ever put TSA locks if I was traveling with a suppressor, just because I would want to make sure I was there before they try to do some weird shit. They also keep the paperwork in the case, like up above the foam, so I don't lose it.
How do you guys carry some of your extra, right? Because in our line of work, like not only our rifles but our ammunition, but like I would say our optics would be like next high ticket item in terms of like, at least for me, I always want to have any optic, especially like the optics that I carry that's over like $2,000 to $3,000, like on my person or locked as well. So on this trip, I threw my pistol into a hard case just so that I can lock it with my own locks versus TSA locks.
Yeah.
That's what I did with that. The 1615 is like, okay, hey, I'm putting all my quote unquote serialized or high end optics in here. So instead of, like, cause like from my experience, they get butthurt if you lock a case without TSA locks that it doesn't need to be locked. You know what I mean? And so I was like, hey, there's a firearm in here as well. So I'm going to use my lock so that you guys can't open it without me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've never experienced that. Like, like, obviously I have the rifles on there. I just put the scope cover on it.
Yeah.
And then because of the way with the weights and everything on mine and then the foams, it kind of vices it in there. So like you could see like I have like permanent impressions or depressions of where the weights are. So it holds it pretty stable.
Yeah.
But all my other stuff, it usually is like either in a soft case or it's wrapped around like a shamag or a t-shirt inside of the soft case. And then I pack everything and I make like basically like a little grave.
Yeah.
And I put it in the grave and then I put more shirts in between or socks and like layer it. So it's in the center of the bag because I actually, since I started traveling with a rifle, I lock all my stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Like all of it. And I've never had anybody. That's I'm surprised. I never had anyone say an issue. And that's like my duffel bag. I just do the zippers to one of the straps, and then my deployer bag, do the zippers to one of the straps.
I'm honestly low key jealous that you still have a deployer bag.
Dude, I got that.
That thing is like, probably the if there's anything I've been issued that I wish I could have kept, it's that fucking deployer bag.
I actually didn't. I had to turn mine in, and then one of the dudes was getting out earlier this year, and he had brought in a bunch of old camis and gear. And we always do that. And we're like, hey, any guys need stuff like, so you can save a couple pennies. My how expensive our life is just to have mission gear. And I was like, I don't want any of that crap but that bag. I was like, I'll take the bag. You guys can, once you guys are done, fucking rat fucking it for the good.
What I don't understand is like, how did we only have it for a deployment? And like, why wasn't the deployer bag like a part of SIF? Or was it?
It is now.
I mean, maybe now.
I think it is now. No.
So no,
I think it's part of like unit issue.
Mostly because when we first got them, it was like a Blackhawk issue, like they had just gone in.
Yeah.
And then
we got an issue with our frogs.
Yeah. Depending on what unit you were in,
yeah,
like they were very like strict. Because I mean, I've been in some units where they're like, "Here's the boxes. Take one, fill your name out on the roster. We'll be back in an hour." And I was like,
"Yeah,
aye, sir."
Back when we had GWAT money, it was like,
yeah.
I mean, like my first couple of deployments, you would get like an issue of that stuff, and it was just, here you go, this is yours now.
Yeah. Yeah, just like I said, I think it's
now
in a
like,
unit where
fucking give me that underwear back, bitch.
Yeah. That beanie? Yeah. Yes. You're like, come on, dude.
You broke the zipper on this pack. You got to buy the whole pack.
The one thing they do, they issue like sets of the Darn Tough socks, which is fantastic. When I had my last group of guys, they gave a big huge box of like 50 pairs of Darn Tough socks, and
that's nice.
All my guys is like, none of them are taking them. I'm like, dude, these are good socks. Like, you want to take them.
Are they wool?
Huh?
Are they wool socks?
Yeah. I'm like, these are good socks, guys. Like,
I mean, I'll take them.
You should want these. None of them took them. I was like, all right, dude. So I got like fucking 50 pairs of them. Bitch.
The pair of socks for every day of the year.
They're a little heavier than I would prefer of a sock, but I mean, for colder weather, they're money.
Yeah. Last thing, heavy bags. And like, what do you do with your heavy bags? And I guess then after that we can talk about like, what do you carry on your person when you go through carry on and just security.
Yeah. So I assume we're talking rear bags, right? Not just like the overall bag being heavy, because all my bags are heavy.
Support bags. So like the front support bag or the rear.
Yeah. So I was concerned about weight. I don't know why. Like I knew with the military thing, like I would be good up to 100 pounds, but I was just, for some reason in my head, I was like, I want to try and keep it to 55. Maybe because I'm a classic overpacker, and everyone always says that. So I was like, this is the number of bags I'm bringing. If it doesn't fit, it gets the boot.
Yeah.
So I usually do 2 heavy bags. I'll do, like an OG and a pint size, or a medium. This one I did a get light pint size, and then I did a heavy fill, medium. I just did 2, and I just deploy a bag.
Yeah.
I pulled it. It was like, do I want rear bags or do I want a tripod? I'm like, I'm probably going to need the rear bags. So I pulled my extra tripod out because I was going to bring 2. Granted, it was not a even exchange because that bag was 65 pounds. It was 55, and then it turned into 65 with the 2 bags. So that's why I was like, well, whatever. But I mean, it didn't mean anything. They just put the same tag on it, just wrote the weight on it, and then rolled it back there.
Yeah, no. I literally, like, everything I had, minus a couple items that I put in the rifle case. Everything went in that other, I think it's like a 1620 little Pelican.
Yeah.
And everything fit in there nicely. I put all my ammo, like the 100-round cases, on the bottom to line it, and then I've got like a padded divider, like sectional thing for a smaller Pelican that I have. So I just put that on top and then put all my little items in there, and it fit pretty well. And then for the rifle case, I just have like a bunch of extra foam, that I'll like put between the guns and like on top of the optics to make sure that everything's like set. Yeah. Next time, no TSA locks, I guess.
That's gonna be raw for the whole trip. Huh?
Here, I just want to choke somebody.
I think both Matt and I travel with Pelican 1750s, which is the standard case that we got issued when we were snipers. John, you have the air rifle case, which is a 1755.
Yeah, what I like about that is you can throw a rifle with a suppressor on in that case.
Yeah, and it's deep. I like that it's deep.
Yeah. That's the one downside.
Yeah,
and it's light too.
So 750s with the C4 because it doesn't fold.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I could take the foam out.
Yeah.
And then you could fold it and then it would fit. I had to take the suppressor off.
Yeah. The one thing that you do that I like is you take the foam out and then throw your soft case in the hard case, so you have both, but it's not taking up crazy amount of room, and then it's also padding your rifle.
Yeah.
That's a good.
And that way, when I get to location, especially if it's not like, because we're in Alaska and there's chance of fucking rain all week, I'm going to bring the hard case. But like, if I'm in Texas or whatever, it's nice to just travel with the soft case, instead of lugging the Pelican around.
Yeah. I guess it freaks me out because I'm always scared about the glass. Like, I'm probably the only one running scope caps. Because and it's mainly because I'll just forget to take them off once we're here. But I put them on front and back because I want the glass covered in the case. And then I put, the little bra on it, or whatever you call it, or the call is one that comes when you buy it, because I'm always worried that, like, because I've got like the bipods in there and then the bipod extensions, and they're tucked away, but I'm like, my luck, dude, pick it up, they're gonna it bounce around, it's gonna go right through the magnetized right to the lens, and I'm like, I'm gonna have a fat chip right in the middle of the lens when I open it up. So I'm like, nope. There's certain things where I'm like, I'd rather just It's a little bit of a pain in the ass sometimes when I gotta squeeze that sucker down, because I'm like, I feel like something's gonna snap, but I'm like, it's foam, it's just gonna squish.
Yeah, cool. No, and heavy bags, it depends. The biggest thing with me packing for this trip, it was the fact that we took Alaska Airlines, and with Alaska, it has to be all under 50 pounds. At least that's what I read, not knowing that I had the benefits that I do have being a card holder. Because I usually fly United, and I know my layout for United because I fly out of Dakota so much, where it's like, hey, I know that this makes weight based off of this configuration, right?
Yeah.
And like, I spent fucking hours just being like, okay, no, this needs to go here. This is to make every single one of my cases 49.9. Yeah, with like that extra 1 ounce buffer depending on the scale of the airport. But
they didn't hit the tear button before you put it.
Yeah. So, and then for my carry-on is unfortunately all my camera gear, because we're able to do this stuff.
18 cameras, 10 tripods.
Send tripods. I do.
That's why I only brought. I was like trying to figure out how I could fit a second tripod, but then I would have really been pushing that rifle case. I'm like, I was like, Phil will have 10. Like,
I did. I brought 4. I brought my.
that was like my scapegoat. We're like everything. That was like kind of. I feel like I'm packing too many bags. I was like, Phil will have more. Like, I know I won't have the most bags.
Yeah, I just didn't want to be that guy that's like, you only brought one tripod? I'm like, bro, they call me Solo for a reason. And this one.
Well, did you only bring one tripod?
Yeah, because I took it out for the bags because I was worried about weight.
Oh.
For whatever made up reason in my own head. I was going to bring that and the 2 vets. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have that 2 vets inverted one, but I wanted.
And then I was thinking, I was like, I saw your bag. Like, do you put like a small tripod? Do you just strap it to the side of your carry-on? See, that's something. If I had a smaller tripod, maybe I feel like it might be like
if I had one of those tripods.
Yeah, a little obnoxious if I had to.
You can just hand carry it though. I've done that where I've hand carried the
prison wallet
24 hours.
Yeah. I'm gonna work, but
Cool.
But yeah, my carry-on's pretty simple. It's an iPad, laptop, and then I keep all my like electronic paraphernalia, like my charger cables, with portable charger, because I have now I have all the little G-code bags, which are nice because I can Velcro them together into like a configuration where all the zippers are facing outward, and all my cords are in one, pens, pencils, permanent markers in another, note cards, dope cards, just stuff that I'm going to, it's basically the same setup I would have if I go out to the range. I can just pull it out and do all the things. And then the other one's got like some user manuals and stuff. Like I just got the new Shure mics. So I'm like, I need to read the quick start guide on how to Bluetooth it to my phone. So I'm like, well, before I get out there and look dumb, like, let me put that in there. So it's like kind of like a miscellaneous one. And then I always have like one hoodie. Because I'm either wearing the hoodie or I just make sure there's enough space for me to roll it up and put it on top. Because sometimes I get in the airplane and it's like, sometimes it's cold, but most of the time, like, I overheat really fast. So like, then I'm in there and I'm like, so if I take it off, I'm going to stuff it in there. But then I walk out of the airport in like, on Alaska or Wyoming or, Utah. And I'm like, it's 10 degrees. Where's my hoodie at? I'm like, why did I leave it in my duffel bag? So I've just kind of learned to, this is the same setup every single time. So like that, and then obviously my baby wipes in case I got to stop at the bathroom on the way to or from one of the terminals or the gates, because I like to pamper myself.
It's funny that you say that. Is I'm very particular about my not my baby wipes, but my toilet paper at home.
Oh yeah,
Pack toilet paper.
Is that?
You pack toilet paper?
I don't pack toilet paper, but I just
Like his own roll.
Blair gives me a hard time because like I have to have a certain toilet paper at the house, and like even when I go to Airbnb and like the toilet paper is shitty, I'll go to the store and be like, okay,
where's my Sherman Ultra?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
only.
I mean, that's the same at my house. Like we have like, I call it the upstairs toilet paper and the downstairs toilet paper, because like my wife, obviously we have the salon set up in the front room. So it's like the cheap one-ply stuff that it costs like, I don't know, nickels to the dollar. Yeah. I'm like, I'll buy like a 100 roll or 96 roll like box, and like that goes down there, and then the good toilet paper goes in the bathrooms upstairs. Because I'm like, again, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I'm like, shit's not cheap. Yeah. And like, you've got 17 clients a day. If just so happens if every client shows up and they got to take a dump, I don't know. I'm like, you go through like 6 rolls of toilet paper in a day, I'm going to be pissed. But I'm like, no, that's the upstairs paper. It goes straight upstairs. We put it in the upstairs closet. It feels like in the downstairs paper. We get these days downstairs for the guests. Yeah, I'm that guy. So if you come over, I hope you like sandpaper.
You get a 100 grain white fruit special with a half apply.
Yeah,
toilet paper with the separator.
Well, so we made it. Freaking travel all day. I think all three of us. I got a slight delay. But I only had from Billings to Anchorage. I think flight travel for all three of us went a lot smoother than it could have been in terms of us getting here when we needed to get here.
This is the first time in a while I haven't spent 18 hours in one airport. Yeah, because of a delay or
because you flew out of Virginia.
Yeah, I've been stuck there a lot of times where it was like, because I have to go through TSA or do something.
Do you guys have TSA PreCheck?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
But
Well,
for
do
sometimes
you guys get it because you guys are active duty, or you guys both got it?
I assume it's because of active duty.
Okay.
For as much as I travel, I'm the world's worst traveler. So I have no clue. I know I have it. Don't know how I get it.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Okay. You guys probably get it because
Yeah.
you're active.
Because even yesterday, like he printed off my stuff and then he like was like, "Oh, it doesn't have TSA PreCheck on here. Hold on." So he like did something and like reprinted it. Like I didn't ask for it.
Okay.
So like I assume it's the military thing because I wouldn't have noticed and I would have went to the PreCheck line. They'd have been like, "You don't have PreCheck."
I'm so bad. Like every time I go somewhere, the hotel's like, "Oh, are you a awards member?" I'm like,
Yeah.
I probably should be, but I don't know. You could try my phone number.
HD rewards.
You could try my phone number if you want.
My first 17 years, I was like, "You don't have a
Yeah.
If you don't do that, you don't do the points." I was
I
like,
did like a trip. I took like 12 flights in 13 days. And it's like, do you think about the amount of miles and stuff? It's like, no, worthless.
"Depression is
Just
figure it out."
simple.
I'm always like, "I'll figure it out later. I'll figure it out tomorrow when I get there," and that never happens.
That's one thing that I recommend. Like when you guys decide to hang up the towel, whatever that day might be, it's every 5 years. So I did it when I got out, but it saves a lot of time, especially like when you're crunch time at the airport, because you just zip through the TSA PreCheck line because you don't have to take your shoes off, but you have your own specific line, and all it is the background check, and then once you do that every 5 years, it's renewal. It's only $75 that one time. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, then I definitely have it because of military.
Yeah,
So
you never done.
save the $5.
Yeah.
But
And credit cards now reimburse you if you take that. So like
oh, okay.
now they have it clear too, to where
yeah.
it's even because I feel like everybody has TSA PreCheck now. So like sometimes I will go and the line for PreCheck will be longer than the regular.
The other way.
It's like, but now there's clear.
And then they look at you all weird. They're like, "You have PreCheck," and I'm like, "Yeah, but look at it."
Like I said, it's not like clear. That's not like the clear line looks at TSA PreCheck now. Like, yeah, so good to see you poor's doing over there.
I'd rather just leave my shoes on.
There you
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always love that too. When I'm like, I never know. I'm like, am I supposed to take my laptop out of my bag? Am I supposed to take my shoes off? So I'm just like, fuck it. I start doing all the things, and they're like, "You don't have to do that." I'm like, "You waited till after I got like 75% of the way naked to tell me that? Put it all back on."
Or you keep your pants on. Oh, okay.
No, hopefully that's helpful for you guys that are looking to travel. I know, I think just people wanting to get out of their comfort zone and shoot, especially with these NRL Hunter matches, based off of the schedule that I see, there's a lot more matches out west than there is out East Coast. So
yeah,
a lot of times more lately, I've been just getting hit up from people, especially when I do like a story of like me traveling or whatever. People just like a real quick, they'll ask like, "Hey, what are your thoughts on this?" Or like, it's my first time going to this place so hopefully this is a good resource for those guys. And my biggest thing is just like,
You load all your magazines.
yeah. Don't be.
put them in your carry.
It's not as intimidating and hard as it seems.
No, it's super.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, like I didn't know. I should have just like researched it, I guess. But like for me, I thought your locks had to be TSA, right?
Yeah. And like I said, because I had
And
heard it too.
And now, like I learned the hard way, like don't use TSA locks on your rifle case. So idiots can't get in there and shift your stuff around. But that's a good lesson learned from you.
I don't know if you cover it, but the reason that we keep going back to that was because someone's brand new chassis is now brand new broken chassis.
Luckily, it's a small part that can hopefully be fixed pretty easily, but it's still frustrating. So, yeah, that's gonna, dwell on that all day.
Yeah.
So yeah, Alaska, we're actually staying, thankfully. So my girlfriend's family's out here, and we're at an Airbnb next door to her uncle's, which is pretty cool. So that saves up, but we're about 20 minutes from the range. Tomorrow is performance competition. We grabbed everything. At least I hope we grabbed everything we needed for our side of the house, which is just targetry, and all the extra BS that we brought in terms of gear. Sometimes I wish I was just a pistol instructor, but that's a whole other podcast. So, what do you guys like? What are, how when we were at sniper school as instructors, like check-in day for students, like with a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a big deal because like it's usually like a little mini reunion, right? You're seeing snipers that like you either went to school with from a different unit. And it's just like one big like, powwow, right?
Yeah.
But also like you're also anticipating the next 3 months of like how this course is gonna go or wherever the case might be. Do you guys have those kind of same feelings before you guys sort of like that civilian class?
Not the same thing.
I don't think it's this. No, but I mean, it's like anything else. Like the build up, anticipation, like preparation is always like the most stressful phase. It's like mission prep, right? Like you're scrambling, like doing all these things, jumping through your ass to get out the door on time, and then like you get out there and like, okay, now it's the easy part. You know what I mean?
I think too, it's a different type of anticipation. Maybe because, like you said, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like, I'll pack like 5 times. I pack and then I unpack and then I repack and then I unpack and I repack. Because it's like, if I forget something, like, it's not like sniper school where it's like, oh, it's in the office. Like, give me 30 seconds to walk over there and grab it. It's like, if I forget it, like, it ain't coming. It's like, better look next time. And then it's always like, I don't know, I guess too at sniper school, because it's like check-in, and we had like very strict, like unofficial rules. So we're check-in, like, be the one that doesn't have the entire gear list down to like, if it says 17 pencils and 1 pen and 47 highlighters, and there's certain colors, like, it better be that exact order. And it better be displayed in that exact order, or like, you're fucked. And we're already gonna label you, he's gonna be a trouble kid because he can't read words on a paper. And then you have like a PFT where it's like usually be like, I don't know why, and it probably has 0. They don't compute whatsoever. But it's like, if you have like a very low PFT, like in intro PFT, you're like, man, this is gonna be a rough course because these guys are weak as shit. Automatically that means they're dumb. So you kind of like have that, but like here you don't really have it. It's like, I don't know what to expect. Because again, like I said, everyone judges their level of proficiency different. Like, or even probably between the 3 of us, there's, the varying degrees of what we would say is a beginning shooter, intermediate shooter, advanced shooter, a proficient intermediate, a proficient beginner, like however detailed and however much you want to break that down. And you don't know till introductions, teaching the classes, and you get out there and shoot. And then like, you really don't know till 0 day. But for like, or not 0 day, but for the 0 event. And then you're like, okay, like now I'm seeing like, okay, now I kind of, so you're just kind of like waiting. Cause I don't know if you know, it's like, well, I'll teach, I'm like, hey, I say it a lot in the beginning, like, hey, I'm not just anyone's intelligence, but we're, I'm covering this because I don't know. Yeah. Other than, maybe if, me get some people that will email us and then you can kind of gauge where they're at, because they'll usually kind of open up and be like, this is what I've done my whole life, but I really don't know this, and this. All right, well, this guy's pretty honest. So like, he gave me a pretty good breakdown. So like, yep, I think this is the course you should go to, and here's why. And you kind of already have some kind of understanding for individuals. But for sniper school, again, you all know each other. You have the powwow, and the guys will kind of tell you too. Like, I mean, even when I was at pre-sniper and like, I would send you reports on all the guys that can get through. I'm like, hey, here's their names. Here's what they sucked at. So when they show up, you can kind of be like, okay, like, I remember this guy was struggling in this, or, that's kind of, we were very good at communicating that kind of stuff, just to kind of like, all right, you're not going to be like, when these 3 show up, like, it's going to be rough for you, bro, because you're the marksmanship guy, and those motherfuckers can't shoot. They couldn't shoot the broadside of a barn, so there's just that level of unknown that you really can't know until, I don't know why the 0 thing is, maybe that's my, like, if I see you and I'm like, oh, your 0's kind of rough, I'm like, all right, I was definitely not insulting your intelligence. Like, we got to work on some stuff.
Well, I mean, it's the first time they're really like getting down and doing the thing, and you can tell immediately like just how someone handles, like gets down behind the rifle. Like, you can start to.
Once you see their economy,
I know what he's doing. This guy, like
their economy of motion, what if they're efficient or not, then you can kind of
like you can tell, like, just like you give a pistol to someone, like how they handle it immediately. Like, you kind of tell, like, okay, guy knows what he's doing. Guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, if they do this right out the gate, it's like, oh, okay, give me that right back. That's cool.
When I first started teaching civilians, my biggest like reality check was everyone's different gear, right? And levels of gear, right? Because again, at sniper school, everyone had one system. And even when I worked at Gunworks, you got issued like there were school guns, so like they were just shooting. So like what I had to learn,
differences.
what I had to learn really quickly was the nuances to different scopes, to different rings, to different chassis systems,
Yeah.
and like things I took for granted in terms of like, hey, I still even forget to put it on the gear list in terms of like, hey, if you're taking an intro class, like make sure you bring all of your spacer kits.
Right.
If you have an adjustable chassis,
Yeah.
right? Because like guys will show up, length of pole's all jacked up,
And they're still running spacer.
and they can't adjust it because
They don't have.
they don't have the spacers, or they forgot to bring shorter screws. Another effed, right? Or like, like you said, rings, or rings are not tightened down the way that they're supposed to, or the way that they're mounted the scope is all jacked up because their levels. One of the things is crooked, right? Like,
But that was their anchor point.
yeah, everything's now all yeah. So that was like the biggest, like, if there's like one word of advice, this is mainly for probably the aspiring instructors out there that I know we have these into solar snipers that are like, hey, I want to do this when I get out of the Marine Corps or whatever. It's like, try to learn as much as you can about the stuff that's outside of what in terms of the Marine Corps. Because like, again, all I knew was how easy the Schmidt and Bender was to zero. All you do was reset 2 set screws, and then like you get the Gen 2. Remember the Gen 2 Razor? You had one belong.
Yeah, I bought one on.
Yeah, it was like
3 screws, and then you took the cap off.
you put the cap up. Yeah.
It's stupid. I'll put it this way. I had that scope for 9 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 10. I had to pull YouTube up every single time and watch the video.
The Gen 3 is
Gen
such
3
a simple, that's my favorite optic zero, I think.
I remember because like you could pop it, you could adjust it, you could lock it.
It's one fucking screw. You loosen the screw and then you just turn the top like zero.
Okay.
It's like a mini turret on top, or a mini dial on top of the turret or on the side of the turret. And that's the only thing you turn to zero. You don't have to fuck with anything.
Yeah, that's what I learned. I mean, it sounds like it's just a more streamlined version of the Gen 2, because the Gen 2 was 3 screws. But what I would mess up is you would start my process, so I unlock it, do my clicks, get it zeroed, pop it down, open it up, and then be like, oh crap.
Yeah.
And I'll feel like, what do I do now? Because there's another thingy that spins, and I don't know what I just did.
Yeah.
And realistically, all I had to do was just tighten it back down, push down the clicks, and be like, okay, that was 7, and then come back in. But me, I was like, this is new. It does not compute. So I did I'm just gonna start over from 0. There goes 10 bullets.
We and actually, like, I'm so glad that we ran the Wyoming class the week prior to this. I ran it with Ian, and it was just, I did that on purpose because there was such a long gap between when I last taught class to this class, and it was like more of a primer course for me to like get back in front of students and get my pacing down. But like, I mean, same thing. I still remember running into that issue. Guy with a Gen 2 Razor. We were checking 0 at 100 and doing our 100-yard test and stuff like, hey, don't float your turrets, right?
Yeah.
Just adjust it until you're back on somewhat 0. And he did that. And it was like, okay, hey, everyone's good to float their turrets. And then he goes and he's like 4/10 up and like 2/10 left. And he's like, wait, so what do I do now? What do I do now? And I'm like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit.
Good question.
Yeah. We got to go back to 0, and then we got to slip your yeah. So, funny.
So really, I guess the pro tip would be, if you're gonna come to a course, bring all your instruction manuals.
Yeah, no,
Just
for
in
sure.
case-
No, that's important. Like,
Because honestly, at North Carolina, the Alliance range,
yeah,
I don't know what happened lately. It's gotten better, but like I said, I had to tear a dude's rifle all the way down to the ground and put it back together because he didn't do it to torque settings. And I got 1 bar of service like in a 5x5 box in this one spot. So I'm like, what's your chassis again? Okay, download it so I can look at the computer, because I don't know all the torque settings for all the things off the top of my head. And he didn't know, and he didn't have the stuff. But I was like, well, we got to fix this, man, because like he went probably 40 rounds deep. Yeah, he still had a 4.5-inch 0 with a 6.5 Creedmoor.
Yeah,
and I was like, brother, and this is back when ammo was $90 a box, $95 a box. I was like, I'm not letting you shoot another $5 round, dude. Like, this is not okay. Like, I got to figure this out. So if you had the manual, you could pop it up real quick. They flip a couple pages. That would have saved me 20 minutes.
Goes back to you don't need to know everything, but you need to know where to find it.
Yeah.
And like, if you have your user manuals like tucked in the side of your case or something like that, like it's really easy to pull it out. Oh yeah,
just like we were saying, like I was saying, my little G-Co bags. How long we've been using that for like in the Vectronics? I still got the guide in there because I'm like, how many clicks is it to get it to flaps, and then change it from meters to yards, or set this. I'm like, hold on, let me pull it back out again, because once I set it, it's like set and forget, and it's one button, and I'm like, just click and hold. And that'll give me a constant range.
You even did the 90. You even did the 90 on that one.
Because like electronics is just, dude, does not.
That's what you were doing right.
I'll be close. I'll run through like a knots test, like 13, 15 knots right now. Cool. And they'll be If you tell me program a radio, if it was like life or death program radio, I'd be dead on the floor.
Program this 119 Foxtrot.
I would calibrate the vector. The 14 point. Yeah. All right.
That's hilarious.
Would not survive.
Cool. No, it's
Better off fighting a grizzly bear.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Speaking of grizzly bears, apparently you guys saw a bear on the way out. At least John did.
Yeah, I saw it. I missed it.
Got like 10 moose and a brown bear.
Yeah,
cool. Let you know you're in Alaska.
Yeah. No, man, it's funny. I took a lot of that stuff for granted growing up out here, especially in the summertime.
Right.
And I didn't appreciate how much Alaska has to offer until I moved out. Spent time in California, living in Wyoming, and Wyoming's pretty, don't get me wrong, but like every time I come home every summer, at least not every summer, when I come home in the summer, like it's like holy crap. Like I haven't even touched or scratched the surface of this place. So
yeah, it's so big.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was saying, we were just talking about it too, like, because he saw like we were like, we hit the gas station real quick just to make sure everything was good before we started the middle of the day midnight drive. And it was like 2.5 minutes later. Like I was looking left, or I was looking right. He was looking left, and he was like, "Bro, grizzly." By the time I turned, we had already passed it in the woods, and I was like, "Dang it!" I was like, "Well, we'll probably see another one, maybe, hopefully, I don't know." And a bunch of moose, but it's like they're like right there. Yeah, it's almost kind of like this. Like a nice thing I noticed from the East Coast to the West Coast. Like West Coast, obviously, it's very flashy, very like. I think it's more put together structurally wise, as far as like infrastructure and buildings. Yeah. But like. Again, like East Coast or like up here in Alaska, like it's not uncommon to see a wild animal just walk right in front of your front yard or across your driveway. Get to the other tree line, and like growing up, you're like, oh, that's common. But like for me, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take a picture of that and send it to the kids. Like there's this like 3 little deer just sitting there in the front yard, like eating grass, and they're like, that's so cool. And I'm like, I know, because growing up, that's not common for us. So it's like. I feel like a tourist, I guess, doing that weird, like, oh, take pictures of everything. I'm like, oh shit, a porcupine. Yeah, a porcupine. I've never seen a skunk before. Don't get that.
It's what the hell is that movie? It's like a snake in the tree. He's like, oh shit, a porcupine.
The fuck, you guys ever seen that the YouTube video where it's like, that's pretty neat. Neat. Yeah, neat.
I got tree poop on my tootsies. And it's hilarious.
That's funny. So one of the things that leading into the class that we're trying to do differently was like a lot of the pre-course kind of work and like a journey that the students go through. And I think second to marketing the classes, I think that was my next most stressful thing, was like the execution of those emails, because it's a lot easier said than actually done.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I don't think we've got it.
No, it's even got it nailed down. Yeah, I don't think it's nailed down, but I did hear feedback when we had in Wyoming was that based off of, because a lot of when I did performance competition, a lot of the students had been to other classes, and they said that they had never seen anything like that.
Yeah,
which they thought was awesome. And
they've gotten some good feedback. Just people,
because
people are emailing like, oh, did I not get that? Like they're sure they didn't get the video, and they're like, nope. So it's like it's supposed to be on a timer. You'll get it in like 2 weeks. I was like, Let us know if you don't get it though, because again, we're still figuring out navigating the system, making sure all the stuff is automated. And
it also does help that we lost our freaking email for like 2 months.
Yeah, that's true.
When we got DDoS or whatever. Yeah. But one of the feedback points that I got, which was great, was because in a perfect world, if somebody signs up, the idea is that, okay, hey, if you sign up at least, let's say minimum 6 months out, we put your deposit in, and now you get these emails, and now you have opportunity. But if you sign up like, let's say a month out, you get front loaded with all these emails. The average shooter, based off of, again, the survey that I did on Instagram, so take that for what it's worth, goes to the range twice a month. And so with that rifle setup video, which is our second to last video.
Yeah, number 5.
Yeah. The guys said that, they watched it, but they realistically they didn't have enough time to actually take that information and go to the range with it.
Yeah.
To like experiment.
So like they could do it at the house, but now they don't know if they did it right.
Exactly.
They don't have the.
Yeah. So it's almost like, for me, I'm wondering, it's like, okay, like,
do we need to rearrange?
Do we need to arrange it, or like, do we need to reteach it, or like, how do we actually, because I think for us, that's a big part of day one. And I'm going to try to say this without sounding super arrogant, but like a lot of people, especially if they haven't been to a more modernized class in terms of like understanding more of the modern ways to drive a precision rifle, the number one thing I see issues with every shooter is how the rifle is set up, right?
Yeah, I think we've talked about that a lot. Where it's like, again, like our definition of experienced or good shooter compared to person A, person B, person C, person D will always be different. And so I think that was one of the things. Like I said, we talked about it. Like, I don't think we'll ever not teach it in a class, even if it is a foundation, very beginner class. It's hopefully the intention, at least in my understanding, right, is like I'll never walk into a class like, you guys saw the video, so I'm going to breeze right through this, and like we can get out to the range, start slapping some steel. It's like, I'm hoping that you watched the videos, hopefully got to that 60-70% solution of, even if you didn't get to go to the range, but they got to do it, is when I start talking, it triggers more well thought out or more developed questions into the information. For sure. So we're not like, oh, what is length of pull? Like, hopefully we're beyond that, because that's explained and that's already,
they've heard it before.
Yeah. And so they're like, oh, like, hey, like, maybe a length of pull question, but it's a little bit more in depth. So it's tailored to them, or like, hey, how do you do that? Because my gun has this type of contraption, or it's designed this way, where it's a more unique question to that person, because they're specifically trying to figure out for, maybe they have an MDT chassis and they have a KRG and they're slightly different. So they don't know, like, hey, is tilting the buttstock left or right? Does it matter? Is it more important? Like, some people say it doesn't matter at all. Some people do.
What camp are you in?
I honestly prefer the tilt.
Okay.
Problem is, I don't think it makes as big of a difference as people think it does. Although I think I have a wider face, so I feel like it kind of helps me get a little bit more set. But I can't do that on the KRG because the way that bolt's designed.
Yes.
So my Whiskey 3s, I'm sorry, on the C4. So my Whiskey 3s are, it's like 15 degrees. It's like the first notch. My C4s are straight 12 o'clock. And I honestly, in my opinion, comfortability wise, the Whiskey 3 is more comfortable for me.
The Cadre that.
Yeah.
Are you a tilt or no tilt guy?
No.
No tilt. Straight.
But then, like, some people with the AIs, right? Like they invert the recoil pad.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's not designed for that. So why would you do that? Right? It's more comfortable. I can do this. I can get behind it better. And I'm like, okay, can't argue with that. I think that's, again, probably the service rifles, we didn't have a choice. Yeah. Like, unless you want to slap some isomat and some duct tape on there or whatever, some moleskin, we didn't have a whole lot of maneuverability in that aspect. So sorry not to get too sidebarred. I'm hoping for more, like I said, unique and more well thought out developed questions to it. So, because that's just going to benefit everybody in the class as well.
Because one thing you can't do with a video is ask a question.
Yeah.
Right? But you brought up a great point in terms of just like, okay, hey, they've already heard this material before, and I think I told both of you guys, Trujillo, who was an instructor with all three of us, really great instructor, really great sniper, in our time frame. And, he was able to come out to Wyoming with his nephew because his nephew's a gunsmith. So he took both classes, of arrow hunter and, performance competition. And he has already sat through my classes before. And he had just said, he's like, I don't know if it's the way that you said it or like just now that but like, I feel like I learned a lot more from this class than the one that you taught in California when I came through. And I was like, and I mean, that dude, he's been a sniper as long as I have, right?
I just had this conversation with Brian Mooring, like the other day.
Yeah.
We were talking about it, and it's like they'll have guys that come through their course like, once a year for like 3-4 times, and they teach the same class, and it's like, oh man, I wish you said this last time, or like told me. It's like, I taught this the same class, but it's I got a video with the exact same words. Your brain is only processing so much, right? Like I might tell you 10 things, but you might grasp 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
So the next time you might grasp 3 others.
Yeah.
But like the one thing I like about the videos is like I can watch a video of Matt giving me a rifle setup class, and if there's something I want to like dive in on, I can just rewind
it,
and I can go back through it and like pause and be like, okay, what does he mean here? And then break it down. And like, if someone does register, like I said, like 6 months out, 5 months out, whatever, and they're getting these videos at a sustained interval, you can take the time and watch them multiple times.
Yeah.
And like, they might go through that class 4 or 5 times before they show up. So they already have an in-depth understanding. You don't have to like maybe slow down on so much in the class. But then, like you said, their brain is already primed and they have like the questions they want to ask for a more in-depth understanding. And if it takes longer, then so be it. But at least we're getting like to a deeper understanding in the class,
Yeah.
I
think it allows us to shorten the initial classes for each class in terms of like, okay, now instead of spending an hour and a half of this, I can now only spend like maybe 45 minutes with like 15 minutes a question, right? And then immediately roll into a prac cap, right? And then like for each class that we've done that with, that saves us an extra 2 hours on the range that we can, just do more practical application or more live fire exercises, whatever the case might be. But another thing that True brought up, I feel like this had in part to do with the fact that he was running his 308 muzzle brake. Like he didn't want to shoot a can. But like after day 3, because he did intro to Integral Hunter, which was 2 days, and then performance competition was 2 days. And after the 3rd day, he was straight smoke checked, right? Like, he's like, dude, like I stopped shooting because like there's no point in me shooting because there's gonna be diminishing returns, right? It made me almost like question our initial plan of having a 4-day foundation course, but like, because even Sarah and I talk about this in the podcast I did with her. Is like, well, what's a good balance of how many classes? Like sometimes 4 days is a lot, sometimes 2 days, sometimes 1 day is a lot, right? Depending on the student.
Yeah, and like depending, like you said, what you're shooting, like you're shooting like a Magnum or something a little bit heavier. If you're shooting unsuppressed versus suppressed, like that's one thing I noticed shooting like 2-day matches, suppressed versus unsuppressed. Like when I shot Gunworks with you, we shot suppressed.
Yeah.
And when I shot Mason Valley, I shot unsuppressed.
Yeah.
And I noted like a significant difference in how I felt after shooting Mason Valley.
Yeah.
Unsuppressed, and that granted that was like 20 or whatever stages in one day. And that's a lot. Like, not to dive into the weeds on like brain stuff and TBI, but like the more research they do,
Smooth brain.
The more research they do into like TBI and stuff like that, like they're finding like sustained micro like trauma or things like that are even more
than a gun going off 6 inches from your face.
Even more detrimental Like one thing that they're noticing is like for like over the horizon or over the beach ops on like Zodiacs or small river boats, like the sustain just like pop, 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 pop off the waves for an hour, 2 hours or whatever is like crazy little bits of micro trauma. So like I think it definitely can have an effect on you, especially if you're doing like 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row and shooting a pretty decent amount for sure. Right. Yeah.
So what we're trying to say is suppressed only classes.
Minus me.
No, I think I'm hoping, God, especially with, I don't want to go off a tangent here, but like, especially with the direction of the HPA, Hearing Protection Act. I feel like the accessibility to get suppressors is going to be a lot obviously easier. The downside now that someone brought up is that companies are going to potentially produce shitty suppressors. It's just a minute demand, right? And then the actual quality suppressors are going to be so far out in terms of like wait time, right? Like even Thunder Beach right now, it's like 18 months. Before you even start your process, right? Because they have to build the can first before. So I need to swap the battery out of that camera real quick so you guys.
As we're taking intermissions. Yeah, but I think that's a difficult one too. Just like there's like 4-day classes long, 2-day classes long, and 1-day class long. It's going to be different for everybody. You can't really justify it, like I said. But to the same point of like why we put so much effort into the pre-work stuff, like front loading the classes with excessive amounts of classroom time, people can only focus for so much. Like even if you really want to learn, it's going to be rough. But if you can get the pre-exposure, because then sure, we're shortening the class, but you're still getting the same amount of value. And then we can reinforce it out on the range.
Yeah.
Because like, again, like they said, hey, I got to watch the video, but it was short because I signed up a month out. So I got to do the rifle setup, but I didn't actually get to test it on the range. Well, it's like, same thing. Like I'm going to cover it here with all the students. But if I can cover it in a shorter period of time, because you at least got to watch the video once or twice to get pre-exposed to it, we're going to get out to the range. And then we have more time for me to diagnose. Because, again, not every issue is right out the bat where you're standing there and you're like, oh, your length of pull is too short, your fucking cheek piece is too high. I can tell because your trigger finger looks like crap. Like you can't reach your bolt. Like shorten that 2 clicks, bring that down 1 click, slide your hips 2 inches to the right and put gas on. Like not everyone's that easy, like someone's gonna be like, I don't know, man. Like, let's play around with it and see this and different, whatever.
Yeah.
And some people,
but I might need that extra 5 minutes is what I'm getting at to figure it out. And if we don't have it because we spent an extra 45 minutes in the class, and we're running out of daylight or whatever it is.
And some people in this sport are very like analytically driven, right? Or very technical, where like they want to know, like, especially to improve their process or like get started on the right foot. They want to know exactly what you mean when you say this, right? Yeah. And they're not trying to be that guy. That's the type of person they are, right? They want to know like to the T, like, hey, did you mean it by this? Or like, why this over that? And I think that goes back to like what makes a teacher versus an instructor versus a coach, right? Like, I think being able to divert and recognize, okay, hey, this is the type of student that needs this information because of why. He's not trying to be that guy. He just like, this is what he prefers, right? I think that takes a lot of experience and maturity. So we are about an hour in. I know we've got a lot of stuff to do. We've got to head to the range. Priorities of work for today, or us getting our shit together for tomorrow.
You gotta run a Murph. Then we gotta go zero. I mean, really, I think it's just pack for the range so we get eyes on the ground to see exactly how much space we have, what we're working with, what facilities look like. obviously we'll get our rifles dialed in real quick so that we know they're hot and ready for tomorrow. And then maybe any last minute prep on the back end. Probably hit a grocery store, get some snacks. We haven't done that yet. Get John a new sweater so he stops wearing that thing.
I wore this just for you.
And then get ready to gas on. Probably make face to face with the range owner so we know
6.5 Creedmoor, 140 ELDMs is what you're running.
yes sir.
And John, you're running the Dasher.
Yeah, with the
115.
115 RBTs.
I was in the fence between bringing, it's just because I'm shooting the Inner Hunter Alaska match after this, so I brought my primary in terms of what I wanted to shoot for that match to be open heavy. My backup gun or my B gun was do I want to bring a race gun or and I was I wanted something. I know I can get easily spoiled when I shoot my KRG C4 setup because it's 25 pounds and whatever. So I was all right, I'll bring a very identical rifle to my Inner Hunter gun. That way, I can spend the next 2 weeks actually training with duct recoil and the weight of it and stuff like that. And not only that, now it actually serves as a backup gun. So I brought my Tika, my OG Tika build with the proof carbon on it. That weighs right at 14 pounds. So running 153 A-tips, which actually brings me to my next thing. Was I'm trying to get Lawrence squared away on ammo right now because he's going to do some of our classes. And dude, a box 20 rounds is $50. Between $44 based off what he sent me on the shelf. That's $51. That's one thing that
When
I take for granted is how freaking expensive.
Yeah. When I was still shooting factory burgers, it was $58 a box.
Oh my God.
That's when I was shooting the 105s, and it was no shit, $58 a box.
Yeah.
That's why I train on my 308. And one's why are you still shooting that boo-boo ass round? I'm first off, that round done killed a lot of people. We don't talk about that round like that. Second off, I've just have so much stored up for collecting over the years. That was it's all I ever shot. So I was anytime there was a sale, it's snatch them up. Yeah, snatch them up. And now I'm all right, now I got to get rid of some of these. Yeah. So if anyone wants to trade 308 for 6.5, give me a call.
No, I'm excited to have this week. So I'm a little ambitious in terms of the amount of work that we're able to get done as a team here. Now that we're all physically, it's so much easier because one of the biggest hurdles that over the last 6 months that we've launched the Cadre is getting our schedules synced, just because we were on 3 different time zones. You had a PCS, I had a baby, you had option things going on with the new freaking
starting all the retirement stuff.
Yeah, all retirement stuff. So it's just been straight chaos. But yeah, we're here now. We're hoping to make this a annual trip. My goal as one of the quote unquote founders or business goals would to have us come up here not only on a frequently basis, but also paired with the fact that you can bring your families up here to enjoy Alaska before or after, rather than just make this a straight work trip. Because I think in a perfect world, it would be nice to for me, I'm fortunate enough, especially outside of the Marine Corps, to be able to continue to teach people how to shoot a precision rifle, but now to include my family with it versus it just being a work trip, right? Now my family can go see the places, right? Granted, we're from here, or Claire and I are both from here, but it'd be cool to say hey, hey, after we teach Alaska, we can go check out the fucking scenery and
hopefully we can do that in other spots too.
No, yeah, 1000%. Because I think the life of being a precision rifle instructor is not as glamorous as it seems, but it doesn't have to be that way, right? You can change it. You can be hey, and speaking from my experience, what I would want to do is teach class up front and then like have your family meet you after the fact. If you're able to take that much time off, right? I get it. Like if you're not able to, but if you do like a week class,
I'm retired. I got all the time to work.
and then you would meet your family on the second half, and that way it's like, okay, hey, now you don't have to worry about like putting the dad hat on after a 9-hour class. That's what I hear. That kind of sucks balls, if I'm being honest.
I thought about when like the year I retired, just like doing like a fifth wheel around the whole country, just like hitting matches and touring like the whole country and shit. But I probably don't have the funds or the fucking time. But it'd be cool.
Yeah.
You know, especially like all the NRL start stocking up on bullets now. So
All the just set up a reloading station in the
Yeah.
you know, like
Nathan Tungate does that. From Texas. You'll probably meet him when you're shooting down there. Pick his brain. He has like a whole reloading setup. But what's great is like he uses I think he uses a Dash or a BRA where he just sticks to the same load, so he doesn't reinvent the wheel or anything.
yeah,
And he's a top 5, top 10 shooter all day.
that'd be cool.
So cool. Yeah, let's get our shit together, and we'll see hopefully you guys in the next podcast, which will be recorded tomorrow. After day 1.
yeah.
So
Sounds good.
cool. All right, I'm gonna do a sound clap. Well, actually, for everyone that is watching and listening to this, hopefully you guys enjoy it. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, all those things. Let us know what you guys want to hear about. Depending on the frequency of how we push these podcasts out while we're up here, our goal is to, crank as much stuff and content as we can while we're up here. So give us a idea of things to talk about in terms of what you want to see from us while we're together, in terms of topics, but also I think we're going to mainly focus a lot of our podcasts based off of just what we're seeing in terms of trends in class, because every class is so different. And so, yeah. So see you guys in the next one. Until then, you guys know the drill. Keep your face on the gun. And that's all I got.